All right, everybody. This is one of my very first videos that I'm going to post on Facebook, at least on my page. And I think I'm going to break it down into some segments. We're going to start with eyebrows. And then the next one, I'll show you how I do my eyeshadow. And then the following video will be foundation and how I do my contour. And I will probably throw on some lip color. And hopefully that'll keep it from being too long at one time. So I'm going to start with the products that I use, and I would say that everything I use is drugstore or things that I have gotten in Christmas gifts um, for makeup. The very first thing, I've actually recently bought this. This is the e.l.f. wax or brow wax, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like. It just has a little bit of wax in here, and then as you get down to the bottom, you can screw a little bit more out. So there's quite a bit in there, and it cost a whole, I think it was $1.50. And what's really neat about this is that when you put it in your eyebrows, it helps keep the hairs more in place, make them look more um, clean, I guess you could say. For me, it helps them keep mine looking more natural, because you can see mine are pretty sparse. I don't have a ton of eyebrows, um, but they're better than they used to be. I learned that if you're trying to grow out your eyebrows, you fill them in and then pluck anything that is outside of the line or whatever that you've created with your eyebrow. So I'm going to start with my wax. And pardon my mirror, this is so I can see better because I don't see in the video very well. So we're going to just kind of start right here up in the front of the brow here, and then work towards the tail. And I like to get a pretty good amount in there. The other thing about this product I found is that it actually helps the other products like the brow liners and even the pomade to go on a little bit smoother. It doesn't leave it looking so heavy and chunky. So that's really good because I hate it when my brows get super, super duper heavy, and it's just no fun. So after I get a decent amount of that in my brows, let me just reapply the lid here. I will get my eyebrow spoolie. I can grab it, my little spoolie, and we will kind of just brush through here, kind of get them evenly spaced, comb them out, like so. I'll hit this other side here, like so. If you can kind of see that, kind of just makes them look a little bit more groomed, I guess you could say. So then for the next step, where I don't have a lot of eyebrow, I like to go in and do a line, just something for me to follow. And one of the products that I really enjoyed and was recommended on a beauty page is the NYX Micro, make sure I'm saying it right, NYX Micro Brow Pencil. There you go. And this one is actually in the color, if I can find it, chocolate. I like mine a little bit darker. And I do a taupe in my pomade, which I'll show you here in just a minute. So let me show you. I like to start on the bottom of my brow, and I can't talk and do it. But I'll start here, just a little bit further out than the actual brow, and then work a line all the way underneath out to the tail. So let me show you how I do that. What are you doing?
Lunch it in.
But I'm making a video.
Lunch it in.
Now I have to start over. Lunch at noon. Anyway.
You don't have to start over. Your wonderful, beautiful subscribers can, know that you have a loving husband that comes in here and tells you that lunch is at noon.
But I'm not live. This is just making the video.
By the way, we're having our time.
We are? Okay. Alright, so back to the brow business. So we're going to go in, we're going to make that straight line here. Well, I mean, not straight. It's going to have that natural arch here. So let's see, let me show you. And if you couldn't tell, I have children in the background. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, we have more of a defined line here. Try to make that a little darker right there. Like so. Okay, and then I'll go in and I'll try to do that on the other side as same as possible. I have yet to make them perfectly the same on each side, but one of the things in the beauty world is they're supposed to be sisters, not twins. So there you go. So let's try and get this other side on. And I'll try and do it so you can see without the mirror in the way. Just about there. And then the other trick is, for me anyway, is making the tails the same on both sides. I don't know if you can see, this one I didn't quite get as dark as the other one. Go ahead and fill that in just a touch more. This one always gets a higher arch, and I don't know why. Okay. Pretty good. Not too shabby. So, now after we get the bottom on, then I will go in and we will draw a lighter line along the top here and then connect it to the tail. Let me just get a little bit more of my pencil out here. So we'll start right out here. I tried to keep this one in a little bit farther than the one on the bottom, so it gives a little bit more of an angle, if you would. So I'm going to start right here. And we're just going to try to follow that natural line where the eyebrow hairs grow. We're going to keep it straight almost all the way up to where it starts to fall down. Gives a little bit more of a dramatic eyebrow look. Like so. Remembering to keep a light hand so that it doesn't get too dark on the top. And then we're going to start coming down towards the tail here. And just kind of keep that line as straight as you possibly can until it meets the end of that tail there. And you're going to notice that we have quite a bit of like sparse area right there. And that's fine because we're going to go in with the pomade and kind of fill this all in so that we don't have these little splotchy spots. So make sure I got a good even application here on this side, and then we'll start on the other one. Like so. Okay, so we have a pretty good stenciled out brow here. So we're going to go and do this other side now. And then my mirror is going to be in the way. There we go. That's me. Let me close that. Okay. again, keeping a nice light hand so that it doesn't get too dark, especially right there. You don't want it to get really super boxy. I've had those days. I still do. And we'll again keep it straight all the way up into where it starts to go down on the arch up here, like so. I don't know if you can see through my hair. And then we're going to do a straighter line going down until it meets the arch, like so. Looks like I might have gotten that one higher than the other one. That's okay, because the magic of doing brows is concealer. You can always go in and clean up those parts that you are not happy with and make them match as much as you can or as much as you want to, which is fabulous. I love it. Couldn't live without my concealer. So let me make sure we've got about the same application of color here, like so. Okay, so we've got that on. It gives me a pretty good place to start and to follow. So I'm going to show you the next step that I do. Excuse me. And it is the e.l.f. pomade. It looks like this. I don't know if you can see it. This is also an e.l.f. eyebrow brush. It's actually really dirty at the moment. But it looks like so. It's an angled brush. And I'll just get a little bit of product right on the end here. I'll just dip it in the little thing here. And it's okay if you get a little bit too much. I do it all the time. I'll just kind of rub some of it off on the edge of the tub. Actually looks pretty good. So we just get just enough on the end. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of blurry. And we'll start kind of right in the middle because we want to keep the inside of the brows as light as possible and then have a gradation of color to its darkest on the tail. So we're going to start in the middle. We're just going to kind of start lightly patting that in or brushing it into the brow hair. We're going to go up to the top of where I put the line, down to the bottom here. And then after a majority of that product is already into this part of the brow, there shouldn't be very much left here. And I will take the remainder of that product and just lightly brush upward to get those hairs to stand more up and lightly fill in the front. Like so. Make sure we get that kind of worked in as evenly as possible. Okay, then after we get that in there, I will take my spoolie again and I will kind of brush through the product, make sure we get rid of any extra little chunks or whatever that might have gotten left in the eyebrow, and kind of separate those hairs back out, keep them nice and smooth, even, like so. Like that. You can see where the hairs look they look kind of feathered, more fluffy. They're not super matted down, which I prefer it that way. I've seen them done a few different ways. So we have that. And then for me, what I like to do is after I get that more stenciled look with my brow, with the chocolate color, I have a darker brown. This is also an e.l.f. brow pencil. And I will go in and I will darken up that bottom line to give it a little bit more crisp look. And then right along just this outer edge by the tail, I will kind of darken that up a little bit too with the darker brown. And again, use a light hand so you don't get it too dark. You can always go in and put more in, but you can't always get it back out, as I've learned the hard way. And then for right in here, I like to just take this dark pencil and lightly just make a few little lines in there so it doesn't get too heavy, just to kind of help match that color, like so. Okay, and then after we get that on, again, I'll go in with the spoolie and try to brush it out, make it look a little more smooth, like this. And that brow wax makes such a huge difference with getting the hairs to separate and then stay put. Before, they were just kind of all over the place, especially where I've had to let some of my other hairs grow back in. They've been extremely unruly. I don't want to cooperate at all. Alright, so we're looking pretty good on this one. So I'm going to let that sit. We're going to go in and do the same process on the other brow. So I'm going to grab my e.l.f. pomade and get just enough on here. Like so. And we're going to start right in the middle of the brow again. And try to even or match it up with the line that I've already drawn. And just kind of go in and fill that space. Like so. Oh, my nose itches. Kind of start down here at the bottom of the front and then lightly brush these up to kind of get a little bit more of that color so that it doesn't get too dark. Like so. Pretty much like that. So now we'll take the spoolie again. We'll comb through that. Kind of smooth this one back out. Like so. I can see where I got this one a little bit bigger, but again, concealer. Alright, so this is looking pretty good. We'll go back in with the darker brown pencil to kind of give me a more crisp line along the bottom of the brow. And then again, if you get a little bit, further down than you did when you started, it's totally fine. Because I'm going to show you this concealer pencil that I have that is, I love it. It's been a lifesaver for me. So we'll just make sure we get pretty good even application along that bottom line. And then we'll kind of fill in a few little lines in there in the front. We'll go back in. I gotta get the cap on here. Go back in with our spoolie. And kind of smooth out any of that color or pencil. Like that. pretty good. I missed this little bit of the front part of this brow. I'm going to go back in with my lighter brown in the micro pencil. That looks a little cleaner. And that is pretty much my brow tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to ask anything in the comments, and I will move on to my next video to show you how I do my eyeshadow. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.